This video is to help you with the homework for section 6.2.2, and the homework problems are 665 through 670. So for 665, they want you to substitute what they're saying is the given solution into the corresponding equation to check it and decide if the solution is correct or incorrect. So in other words, this is the equation that they're giving you. Better pick a color that's not going to hide it. So you're going to take this equation, and they're saying that the solution is -5. So you're going to replace x here with -5 and x here with -5. Remember, when you have a number next to the variable, you're going to multiply. So you're going to take 5 times -5 plus 8. And then on the other side, you're going to take 3 times -5 minus 2. And you're going to see if the left side equals the right side. If it does, then it checks and you'd say that the solution is correct. If it does not, you would say the solution is incorrect. Same concept for the second one here. You're going to take this equation. You're going to replace x here and here with 4. And again, see if the left side equals the right. If it is, it's the correct solution. If not, it is not. For 666, they're saying during this chapter, you're going to use your new solving skills to solve word problems. Think about and use the strategies you already have to answer these questions. So Andy is 4 years older than Eduardo. If Andy is X years old, they want an expression that represents Eduardo's age. So remember, this is an expression, not an equation. You're not solving anything. Instead, you're just saying, how could we express Eduardo's age if we know that Andy is 4 years older than Eduardo and Andy's age is X? Okay. Then the second concept, in Eduardo's collection, the number of butterflies is 12 more than twice the number of moths. So 12 more than twice or 2 times the number of moths. If there are X moths, what would be an expression to represent the number of butterflies? So if X is the number of moths and the number of butterflies is 12 more than twice that, how would we write an expression for the number of butterflies? For 667, you're going to evaluate the expressions 3x minus 2 and 4x plus 4 for these values of x. When you found the value for each expression, write a statement of less than, greater than, or equal to show how their values are related. So you're going to put x equal to 0 in place of x here, and then in place of x here. And then is this less than this, or greater, or are they equal? Same thing here. You're going to do the -6 in place of x in both expressions. Is the left greater than, less than, or equal to the right, and so on. And then you'll do the third and the fourth as well. For 668, Victor wants to play Guess My Number. You're going to use these clues to figure out his number. So he says, when you double my number and subtract 9, you get my original number. What is my number? So you double it and then subtract 9, right? So you need to think about what the number would be. All right, now you can solve this algebraically. You can reason it out. Again, when you're wondering what you're going to use, if you would try to solve it algebraically, what would you use for the phrase my number would be your variable of x. All right, but again, you could also try to reason it out since they're not expecting you to necessarily solve it algebraically yet. If you were going to solve it algebraically, you'd write it in this way. You'd say let x be my number, and then doubling it would be 2x, subtracting 9, and I'm getting my original number. So when I double it and subtract 9, I get my original number, which is back to x. So that would be the way to solve that algebraically if you choose to do it that way. For the next one, when you double my number and add 5, you get 17. So again, same concept. X would have to equal your number, and doubling it and adding 5 would give you or get you a value of 17. And again, you could solve this algebraically or reason it out at this point. For 669, you're going to find the perimeter and area of each triangle. So make sure you have the correct label for perimeter, make sure you have the correct label for area, and make sure you're using the correct formula for area of a triangle. For 670, they want you to solve it using the 5D process. Define the variable and write an expression for each column. So in the first 3 football games of the season, Carlos gained 3 times as many yards as Alston. Travis gained 10 more yards than Carlos. Altogether, they gained a total of 430 yards. How many yards did Carlos gain? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start by saying X is the number of yards that Alston gained. Okay, because then we know that Carlos gained 3 times as many as Alston. So Carlos will be 3x. And then Travis gained 10 more than Carlos. Well, if Carlos gained 3x, then Travis gained 3x plus 10. Okay. Now, that would be the defining your variable and defining your columns. At this point, I'm also allowing you to do it algebraically if you don't want to use the 5D process. So that's why you see this equation that I wrote here. So altogether, they gained 430 yards. So here's the yards that Alston gained, plus here's the yards that Carlos gained, plus here's the yard that Travis gained. And if I add those 3 up, it should equal 430 yards. I can combine my like terms, and I can solve it algebraically. Make sure at the end that you answer the question, which is how many yards did Carlos gain? Which is not x, it's 3x, 3 times your x value. But again, you can solve this algebraically or with 5D, it's up to you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, again, that is your homework.